Hello and good day. Welcome to New Generation Man by Segun Bash. We're coming to you again with a special podcast. And again, I have my brother and friend here. He's going to introduce himself and we'll dive deep right into the topic. But before we do that, we'd like to tell you what New Generation Man is all about. A New Generation Man is just a platform where we encourage men to be the best version of themselves, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and every aspect of life to develop themselves. So, in the view of this, we like to bring up, guests and people that can speak on various topics that people can learn from and they can improve themselves. So, in the bit of, people learning more and improving themselves, we are picking up to this particular topic about tech. Most of the time, career professionals would like to make a change into tech, and a lot of people are not quite sure which area they should focus on. So that's what this conversation is about. We're going to take a deep dive into the world of tech and help some people answer some questions about which areas they should go into. So, but if this is something you're interested in, stay tuned and we'll discuss further. But before we go ahead, I'd like to my friend and brother to introduce himself. And once you introduce yourself, I would like to introduce the topic again. So the topic is, how do you identify what technical skills you should learn while moving into tech as a career professional? So that's the topic. So introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your own career journey. Then we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much, Segun Bashar, my very good friend. Uh, so,
Yeah.
my name is Victor Asami, and it's a huge privilege to be joining you today on this podcast. And just a little bit about myself. I'm a business analyst. I'm a cybersecurity analyst. I'm a project manager, and I'm a tech enthusiast. So all of this it's a journey that started in the year 2014. When I started working as a business analyst in a customer success role. Back in Abuja, and that was where it pretty much started for me in terms of business analysis, looking at how to keep the customer happy, looking at what could we do better to be more customer centric, to be more innovative, to be more, just all around making the customer happy. And from there, I moved on to learn programming. I remember back then, C++ was a nightmare. PHP as well, So that was in 2017, I would say, which was when I took the deep dive into the world of tech, as it is. I started as a programmer, building websites as a freelancer. And
Okay.
then cybersecurity just it found me because one of my tutors at the time when I was learning programming, he told someone about me, and that was pretty much how I got into cybersecurity. I started reading, learning a lot. I got projects to work on, and from there, it just kept getting better. And then, I did my master's in project management because I wanted to be able to manage projects from start to finish. So I decided to learn that or to go for the certification as well. And just to make me more
Okay.
well-rounded, and that's
Okay.
what I believe in. I believe in being a well-rounded person. Even though you specialize in something, it's better if you have skills in other areas, just to make that your main skill more robust. Which was my strategy
Okay.
moving along my career. And then right now, I'm currently working as a senior business analyst, working on security related projects, information security related projects, cyber security related projects, which is actually where I shine because all of my certifications, my background, it all comes together now, and that's why sometimes it just feels like I do some things easily, but it's just because of years of preparation. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for, the brief introduction. But there's something that you said, but I really wanted to touch on it because you talked about cybersecurity and you said that someone you were working with at the time told you more about it and it sparked your interest. But I still really want to know, what made you in particular decide to go into that because yes, he told you about it, but I want to know what sparked your own particular interest. What was it about cybersecurity that, made you like want to know more about it personally?
Yeah, so that was in 2019. Thank you for the question, by
Okay.
the way, Segun. That was in 2019 when cybersecurity was kind of like making the buzz at the moment. And it sounded like a great opportunity to jump on the bandwagon in quotes. That was how it started. But then it started gaining traction. And then when I delved into it, I realized that almost all of the technological products, almost all of the innovative products that we enjoy these days, they are prone, they're vulnerable. They're prone to attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build
Okay.
something and you're unable to secure it, then what use is it? Right? You build a
Mm,
house, there is no fence, there is no gate, there are no doors. The
mm,
windows, there's no glass, there is no burglary, nothing. You just build a house, no door,
mm-hmm.
nothing to secure it, and then you keep buying expensive electronics and appliances inside of it. Definitely somebody's gonna come steal your stuff. So it
Yeah.
was it was just more of to answer your question directly, it found me because someone gave a recommendation about me. But
Recommendation.
when I delved
Okay.
into it, I realized that this actually makes sense. The security side of things,
Mm-hmm.
which most companies, which most project managers, most businesses, they seldom think of it as an afterthought. Which is why
Mm-hmm.
in my because I
Mm,
make regular posts on LinkedIn about the integration between
mm-hmm.
business analysis and cybersecurity. I think it shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be incorporated right from the get-go. So it is all of this realization. It is all of these things that I found out that made me stick with cybersecurity up until now.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So for someone going into tech, because I know your own educational background is biochemistry. Some people is education.
That
Some
was a
people is
long time ago.
agriculture. So yeah, I know. So and yes, definitely over the years you've done your masters, you've learned a lot of other things after that. But for someone that wants to go into tech, my question is: does your educational background, your work experience, and your interest does it play a role in the type of you know journey you take into tech, or do you feel that is the interest that is most important? So for someone going into tech, what would you advise? Would you advise them to focus on what their educational background is, or they should focus on their work experience or their interest? So out of those three components, which one do you think is most important for someone that wants to move into tech?
Thank you very much. So I'm going to answer this question in a very unconventional way because I've read different articles, different posts talking about how to get into tech, and they tell you in a form of advice, of course, and I believe it's coming from a good place. They tell you do this course, go
Mm-hmm.
this way, take this exam, do this certification, blah blah blah. That was the same advice I got
Mm-hmm.
also at the point, but I'm going to give a different perspective. And just to answer your question about your experience, um, skill sets, and interests, do they play a role? Of course, they do play a role. Your background, it plays a role. Now, is it compulsory or is it essential? Or is it mandatory for you
Essential. Mm-hmm.
to have a tech background
Yeah,
before you switch into
tech
tech? It
background.
is not. But does it play a role? Of course, it does play a role. Okay. Now, this going deep into my explanation. First of all, I would advise anyone who wants to get into tech to do their research. It's very important, and the reason why you should do your research is this: there's so many aspects to tech. There are some of it that are very, very technical. There are some of it that are not so
Mm,
technical that you would excel at
mm,
it just with your soft skills, right? So it all boils
mm.
down to doing your research and find out where your interests actually lie. Now, if you say you're interested in tech,
Lies.
good for you. But then, what part of tech?
Mm,
It's enormous. So you have to, now this part is something that you do by yourself. Research. You can ask people
self, yeah,
questions.
exactly.
You can ask experts. You can ask random questions. You can Google is your friend.
Yeah,
ChatGPT is your friend. You can start from there.
yeah,
Ask questions that would fuel your interest, your passion. And at the end of the day,
interest.
I think you would get to a point where you find something that you resonate with. Okay, so
Mm,
people
sure.
should not shy away from the research part, because that way it's more internal. That way it's coming from within you. It's more sustainable than somebody externally just tells you do this and do that. So first thing,
Mm,
research. Find out what tech is about. Now, I know it's impossible for you to find out everything about tech just through research, or else
yeah.
you're going to spend years doing it, right? What
Mm,
part of tech are you familiar with? Oh, you know cybersecurity. Okay. Do a little bit digging on cybersecurity. See if it's something you like. See if it's something that interests you. If it's not, then do a little digging about product management or IT
mhm,
project management or IT recruitment or GRC, especially for people who
mm,
have a legal background or law background. Look into
mhm,
GRC. It's an aspect of cybersecurity. Do your research, do your own work. Or if you're good with numbers, maybe you're an accountant, then look into data
mm,
analysis. So
mm,
it boils down to how well you can research. Try to find things out by yourself. Now, when you've done that, then the next thing you should do, in my opinion, is try to look for jobs that align
mhm,
with your interest. For example, let's say
mm,
your interest is GRC, that's governance, risk, and compliance in cybersecurity, right? Let's say
mm,
that's what sparked your interest, maybe because you have a law background. Then go online, look at the different job adverts for GRC role.
mhm,
Look at the requirements. Look at the
mhm,
skills requirements. Look at the certification requirements, right?
mhm,
Look for other job adverts for GRC. Compare and contrast. See the skill set that's common to all of the adverts you're looking at.
yeah,
Look at the
mhm,
certifications that's common to all of the job adverts you're looking at. That will
mhm.
guide you on what you need to have.
To have.
Okay, some of them might say you must have a certification or a certificate in ISO 27001. You check through 10 adverts, you see that 8 of them ask for this particular certification. It's a no
Certification.
brainer that that's what you should get or that's what you should have. That's what you should work towards.
Mm,
Okay, so it's like looking at the end and then tracing your steps backwards, and then you start because you already know your destination. So I think it's easier that way. First of all, you're not wasting time. Second of all,
mhm.
you're not overwhelming yourself with all of
Yourself.
the enormous information in cybersecurity.
Information online.
So that
Yeah.
would be my advice. Do your research, then find a suitable job role that you want in future. Now look at all the requirements from that and then work towards those requirements. Maybe it will take you 6 months, maybe it'll take you 1 year,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
But then you're going in the right direction and you know the end
Okay.
that you're trying to get
That
to.
you're trying to achieve. Okay,
Absolutely.
I like the way you answer the question. Like you answered it in different parts because for a lot of people, what I notice is information overload. That's what always causes, problem. Because
Yeah,
yes, the internet,
discouragement and they
yes,
just get
exactly.
overwhelmed. Yeah.
Exactly. The internet age is very good. There's a lot of information and resources out there, but it's now information overload. There are tons of free courses you could take. There are some that are paid, and all that. So sometimes people are just really confused on what area to actually focus on. And I like the way you broke it down in the sense that look at the job descriptions, look at the future jobs that you love to do. What are the key requirements for those roles? Look at those requirements and find how you can get those certifications, because I think that will give people a lot of clarity on what type of courses they should take, how to go about it. And I also like that you also mentioned in the beginning that it's not compulsory that it has to be with your educational background and all that, but you related it more to the work experience, because if you are working a regular job, part of the things you do is integrated into some of those technical roles. So for
Exactly.
me, what I would advise, someone to do is that in the area where you work, you will notice that there are some aspects of your job that you are more passionate about. Because for some people, you might be speaking and making presentations, it might be organizational skills, because some people they like to organize. So I think,
Yeah,
or I also gave an example that someone that's an accountant now, you are good with numbers. If you know that that's your core skill, you love things like that, it will be more suitable for that type of person to go into data analysis or things like that.
absolutely.
If you're
Yeah,
more or if you're more of an organizational person, that is, you like working with teams, working with different things and putting things together, you can go into product management and scrum master, kind of thing.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it actually does depend on your skill, your preference, and the details that you've done in your role and how you can integrate it into what you want to do. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much for
Absolutely.
that. So, okay, moving on right now, from what I understand, you moved away from cybersecurity into business analysis. So, from where I'm standing, I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, that you went into business analysis because that's kind of like the in thing now. So, was that the reason why you made that change? So, tell us about why you kind of moved from being a cybersecurity analyst into being a business analyst now. Tell us about that.
Okay, great. First of all, I didn't move out of cybersecurity. Point of
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you what my current career status looks like. Okay, so I've always admired these C-suite guys. When I
Mm.
say C-suite guys, I mean the top guys, and my
Top
my
management.
goal, yeah, my ambition is to be a C-suite guy, in the near future, and
Mm,
I realized, just from what I told you a couple of minutes back, I realized that most of the C-suite guys, they are MBA trained, right?
mm,
Some of them have their MBA already. Some of them don't.
mhm,
They cover for
mhm.
it with other kinds of certification and other kinds of
Experience.
experience. But in my own case, I'm still very young. I believe that uh, with my years of experience and with also having an MBA, would make me look like a more ideal candidate. Now, uh, just because it's too expensive to start my MBA right now, right?
Mhm,
That's why I'm taking other business analysis courses. But in the long run, my goal is to be a C-suite executive, right?
mhm,
Which I and the reason why I'm not taking the MBA right now is because it's too expensive. I would love to have my MBA at the London Business School, but it's really expensive. But anyways, to answer your question, I really want
mhm,
to delve into the business side of things because I don't see myself as a nerd. I don't see myself as a techie person. I see myself more as a problem solver, a
mm,
business, problem solver, right? Using technology, using tech, using
mm.
whatever, that's necessary to solve business related problems.
Business
And
problems.
along the line, that has been the way I think that's always been my thought process, that how do we make this thing better for the user? How do we make this thing, how do we improve the user experience? How do we improve customer satisfaction? And
Mhm,
that has always been my angle of seeing things. So it makes me uh, So I try not to be too technical, and it's one of my major skills. I really am good at relating jargon or very technical concepts to non-technical people,
Mm,
in a way that they can relate to. And I think that's a very important skill that everybody should get, except if you're a nerd or something like that, which you might not need. But to wrap up, it's my it's my ambition.
mm,
It's my goal, and I'm just pursuing my
okay.
dream. And that's why, whatever I'm doing now in business, I try to incorporate cybersecurity into it, because there is no going back
Mm,
from tech. There is no going back from the internet.
mm,
We can only
mm.
move higher or further
I
than
am
we are
forward.
right now. We can't go back, right? So,
Mm,
since I know that we can't go back, and I know that cybersecurity or internet security or information security will always be part of whatever product we build, right? So that's why I try as much as possible to incorporate cybersecurity into business analysis. For example, when you're gathering requirements, are you thinking about the security side of things? For example, when you're engaging
mhm,
with stakeholders, do you make them see reasons why security should be incorporated into whatever product you're building? Because at the end of the day, what's the
mm,
point of building an unsafe product or an
mm,
insecure product? What's the point of it?
mm.
So that's my career status. I'm at a point where I'm incorporating cybersecurity into business analysis.
Okay, interesting. I like that because like every job that you do and every career path that you take is actually interwoven because
Yes.
there are a lot of things that you can take from a particular
Yeah, a lot
experience
of
to do.
transferable skills and
Yes,
experience.
transferable
Yeah.
skills. And I like the fact that, you are focusing on improving business because that is the end, that's the main goal of every organization. They want to be able to optimize processes to increase maybe the customers that they have and increase revenue. Because in the end, that's what companies want.
Yes,
Because
that's
why
it.
are they
Yeah.
telling you to leave your house, come into their company to do a particular job? Is so that you can add value, and that value is always in most cases increasing the revenue by maybe reducing operational costs, increasing
Yeah.
efficiency. And I like the point where you said also identifying cyber risk and mitigating against those risks. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Because
Especially
you coming from a
from the start.
background.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you coming from a background from cybersecurity, you definitely always put that insight into maybe any business case that you're looking at as a business analyst because you have a cybersecurity background, and that's always a plus. Because a regular business analyst that does not have maybe an idea of cybersecurity may not really see that need. Do you understand? So that's something unique that you are bringing into the table based on your experience. Do you get?
Yes.
So I actually
Absolutely.
really like that. So moving forward, I noticed that you wrote an article on LinkedIn recently, and it was about the symbiotic relationship between cybersecurity and business analysis. I just wanted to know what inspired you to write this article. Please note, I'll try to leave the link of the article at the description at the end of this video for those that want to read it. But just tell us more about what inspired you, and why you decided to write that article.
So in thank you for the question, Shagun. Over the years, recently, just in a couple of years ago, I don't want to make it sound like it was ages back, but in a couple of years back, I've always
Mhm,
I've been I've been fascinated by the applicability of cybersecurity in every facet of our lives, and the reason why I became so interested in it is because of all of the cyber reports that I've read, all of the cybersecurity incidents, the ones I was able to hear about, the ones I read, the ones that I joined in discussions on. It's just made me realize that cybersecurity is a component of tech that we need to take more seriously. And I felt like it was my responsibility to bring this synergy, this intersection of cybersecurity and business analysis. I just feel like it's my responsibility to bring it to the fore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in most cases, people talk about cybersecurity and it's just cybersecurity. And then when they talk about business analysis, you hear requirements engineering, you hear requirements gathering, you hear product management, and all of
Mm-hmm.
the awesome things about business analysis. But you hardly hear cybersecurity being a core component in business analysis. And I felt like somebody needs to talk about this. I felt like
Mm-hmm.
somebody needs to call attention to this. I know eventually it will get popular, but
Yeah.
then since I already have that nudge right now, why not do something about it? So I'm just being proactive, and I'm just throwing it out there in case somebody sees it and it helps their business, in case somebody sees it and it gives them a rethink about how they see cybersecurity when it comes to the business process change, when it comes to their digital transformation
Mm-hmm.
efforts. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
put it out there so that somebody can see it and they will find it helpful, hopefully.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Because I like some of the points that you raised in the article, and I don't want to talk much about it. Everyone
Yeah.
should visit your LinkedIn
Yeah,
page. The article
that's
is nice.
I also did not want to
Yeah,
talk about all of the content
yes,
so that people
exactly.
can read
People
about
can
it.
go and read it
Yeah.
and enjoy. Okay, so to round up right now, what I would like to ask you is more of a general question about, that the business trends that you've noticed, okay,
Okay.
and what you think about it. Because yes, in 2014, I mean 2024 that we are right now, there's been a lot of changes, in terms of the uh, tech business analysis. People are offering trainings. There is need for business analysts to kind of analyze data to help businesses make improved decisions. We're seeing the
Mm-hmm.
use of social media, changing the narratives of how people use products. So Joe, I just want to have your own insights, based on your own experience in tech over the years. What are the trends that you've noticed, and what are the things that you would like to change, or the difference that you like to make, in the trends of businesses, in the coming years?
Well, talking about trends, or
Yeah.
talking about things I would like to change in businesses, a
Mm,
lot of it, especially organizational culture. But it's easier said than done, right? Easier said than done.
yeah.
But one of the things I'm happy for is that we're all embracing the hybrid way of working, right? Which is interesting.
Yeah.
But more on that later.
Good.
In terms of certifications, trend, what I've noticed, you would agree with me that the in thing right now is artificial intelligence, and
Mm,
some of my colleagues, they are already working on the intersection, the synergy between AI and business analysis. Which is
mm,
which is huge. And that's
mm,
one of the reasons why I felt like somebody also needs to be talking about cybersecurity and business analysis. So the
mm,
trend right now for businesses is that we would find more need to automate business processes. We'll find more need
mhm,
to streamline business processes in a lean way, right? Cut out wastage, cut out unnecessary expenditure, improve
mhm,
the increase revenue of the businesses by
mhm,
reducing waste. So how do you use automation to do that? How do you employ AI to help you make life easier for your customers and also for your business? So in a nutshell, the trend that I see right now, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. The trend I see right now is the artificial intelligence trend, how it's been incorporated and
mhm,
integrated into different parts of our lives, and business analysis inclusive. you know. And that's that about the trends. Now, in terms of what I would like to change, like I told you, I think it's important that we pay more attention to our organizational culture, because there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it's so unfortunate that there is a lot of injustice. There's a lot of uh, uh, um, um, uh, discrimination, discrimination based on
Mm-hmm.
people's sex, or gender, discrimination based on people's
Yeah.
race, discrimination based on people's age, discrimination based
Mm,
on people's appearance, and
mm,
unfortunately, it has found its way, into the organizational culture. I read a post recently on LinkedIn about a lady that
so
was,
true.
discriminated against in a huge, very big European bank. It's unfortunate. I wish I could wave a wand to make sure that things are properly done in large corporations. But I hope that with time, I can only hope, because not many people are talking about it, and unfortunately, not much is being done in
Mm-hmm.
that regard. But I really wish that moving forward, we can find a
Mm-hmm.
way to make the workplace more conducive, especially psychologically, because people already have a lot that they're dealing with, and we all spend
Mm-hmm. True.
a lot more time at work than outside work. So it's
Yeah.
important that we make the workplace more conducive, we make it more friendly, we make it more open, and also we make it uh, in a way that people can get justice when they're being discriminated against. So that would be what I would like to change.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. The things you like to change, but it's just that that work is not only for you alone, because I
I
think
know.
it's a communal effort. Do you get? Because we are dealing with people's perceptions, ways of doing things.
Yeah,
Especially
people's
for
upbringing
us
as
in
well.
Nigeria. Upgrading, exactly, especially for us in Nigeria. A lot of organization, did not really like to accept the remote or hybrid way of working, because especially the older generation, they are used to you have to come to work every day. Do you get? So it is something, that is very difficult for them to kind of comprehend and understand, to say, someone should be working from home.
Yeah.
So, but just like
If
you
I may
said,
add,
it's yeah, go ahead.
Bash, if I may add, I don't want to forget that point, and I'm really sorry for
No, no,
interrupting
that's
you.
fine.
So I just wanted to point out that for remote work, or for hybrid work
Yeah.
arrangement, for it to work, there are a lot of factors that need to come into play. For example, you don't have to incur additional expenses because you're working from home. It means that,
Operational
in
cost.
operational costs, yeah, yeah, because your company is most likely not going to pay you for running a diesel or for running a petrol gen in your house just for you to have power, right? Your company, there's only so little they can do providing extra internet for you. So in the more developed world or countries, these things are already, they've been solved. This kind of challenges, they've already been solved to a large extent. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you don't have to worry if you're working
Makes
out of your
sense, yeah.
apartment in London. You don't have to worry about electricity. You don't have to worry about internet, right? Because those things, they just work, right? So it's easy for you to
Mm-hmm.
tell your manager, or that I would like to work from home next week, or for it to even become a culture, because everybody has internet. In quote,
Mm-hmm.
almost everybody has internet. Almost everybody has stable power supply. So if you try to implement this same culture in Nigeria, it might be very difficult, because there are some of these problems that
Yeah.
we have been able to solve.
So yeah, I totally agree with you. And for me, I feel that the best way of working in a country in Nigeria is hybrid, because there needs to be a balance. Because like you said, we still have some infrastructural issues, that might cause people not to work optimally, even if they would want to. There are still some, infrastructural issues that might cause them not to be able to work optimally. And as you know, an organizational's goal is to, maximize,
Maximize
staff
profit.
utilization,
Yeah.
make sure that increase profit. So if people are not working as at, when they are supposed to, it's going to actually be an issue. So regarding that, regarding speaking to the point of culture, that's what we're talking about. There's a lot of work to be done, and it will still take a little bit of time, for it to change. And yeah,
Yeah.
we even as leaders now in the game, we also have a role to play in making sure that we empathize with people, be more flexible with some of the rules of engagement in work, and just keep an open mind. As long as work is being done efficiently, that's the most important thing. Okay,
True.
so yeah. Yeah, I would like to round up. Was there any final words? Is there anything else you'd like to just say to maybe any young person that's aspiring to go into tech? Any final words?
Well, I will say final words because I'm not ready to say my final words yet. But
Yeah.
just closing remarks.
Yes,
Now that was just on a,
closing remarks.
that was just on a lighter note, anyways. So
Yeah, I get.
for young starters, I'm also young, but I'm not a starter. So for young
Hmm.
starters, it's very important for them to understand what they want, understand
Yeah.
what resonates with their interest, what sparks their interest, what it might sound cliche, but what are they passionate about? Because the reason why you should do something you're passionate about is because at the end of the day, that's what you would need to fuel you, you know. Because if it's only about making money, what happens after you've made that money? Or what happens if
Mm,
you've made the money but you don't feel fulfilled? Because all of these
fulfilled.
things have a way of manifesting in our lives. Because I know, yeah, money is great, money is important, absolutely important. But outside of money, there has to be something else. So it's
Hmm.
why I'm also talking about passion. That something that if you're asked to do it for the next 10, 20 years, you will be happy to. And for
Hmm.
me, something like that would be me incorporating cybersecurity into anything I do, into wherever I find
Hmm.
myself. So I
Hmm.
think it's important for young people like myself, to find out what that is for them. If it's in tech, if it's in law, if it's in medicine, if it's in, because like everything is interconnected right now, so you can't really
Yeah.
get it wrong. By following your passion, just make sure that your passion is something that you can
Hmm.
translate into into cash.
Cash, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I like that. Just make sure your passion is something you can translate into cash. But it's just that for some industries, it may take some time. And why for some industry, it's quite
Mhm.
fast. I don't want us
True.
to go deep into that now. Maybe that will be a topic for another day. But the
Okay.
point is that for some industries, it may be fast for you to be able to get the rewards of your passion. And why for some industry, it may still take
It
your
might take
time.
longer.
Take time rather
Yeah.
for you to get. But most importantly, people should just be, focused on whatever parts in tech that they decide they want to do. I remember when I was doing a training in business analysis, and one of the feedback, one of the facilitators gave is that, some people are actually not focused. That, for example, they'll start with business analysis for 2 weeks. After they do it, oh, they find it so difficult, they move again to product management. If I do it, move or go to
Mhm.
something else. That if you are doing things like that and you are not focused on staying on one thing, you just be a master of nothing. Do you get? So being able to
Absolutely.
be able to identify, your area and focus on it and give it your all for a particular period is actually very key to you being, successful in that particular area in tech that you choose. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for the time and for making our time to join our podcast today.
Yeah.
So we would
Happy to
like
be
everyone
here.
to please like this video and share with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, Victor, for coming up on this and joining me. It's really appreciated, and thank you so much for all the insights. All right, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. All right. I'll catch up with
All
you
right.
later. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.